Roland, I think that call for decorum is in the right order.
Why?
Because we have just experienced not too long ago what Ghanaians collectively agreed was an arrogant leadership who was not listening to the cries, the pleas, and the sayings and the moans of Ghanaians. So for His Excellency John Mahama to come out to reiterate that these are the things that I do not want you to do. I want you to do the right things, be humble, don't be arrogant, stick to what you're supposed to do. I think it's just a good thing. I'm excited about the appointments as they come in. I'm really excited. I'm excited especially because we found more women coming in from the beginning. We are yet to see from the ministerial appointment whether he's reserving all the deputies for women, because I think for the ministers the women were quite few, but other arms, yes, we found a few women. We've also seen that we are not having this idea of family and friends and cronies so far in his appointments, because that kind of thing, like having family and friends, breeds corruption, nepotism, favoritism, all manner of things that are bad for any democracy. And therefore, I'm happy that this time competence and meritocracy has been used in order to appoint people. Arrogance, even within our own cultural setups, is something that we all abhor. We do not like arrogant people. So I'm expecting that then the people who have been appointed will not suddenly change their phone numbers. They will learn to pick up their calls. They would learn to give people a listening ear. When somebody knocks at your door, you remember that that same person was that one that you went to ask for a vote. So you should at least give the person a hearing. It is not everybody who is coming to probably ask for something because during the campaign people might have been asking for Honorable do something before. Maybe the person has a genuine problem. So you must have a listening ear. I am expecting that they will not all start jumping up to trying to compete with each other with designer clothes, you know, going out for, it's part of those things. People are going, there are certain things that as young people coming in, and I have heard some people come up with the idea that, oh, well, when these people came, they did it. Why can't we do a little bit of it? So people might come out of their way trying to come up with maybe the poshest cars around. People be competing for things. It's a human thing, and especially when you have a lot of young people. So I'm hoping that they will check themselves. They will not go overboard in whatever they're doing. We are not expecting to see what we saw, extravagant birthday parties, wedding parties in the midst of poverty. We would not want to see that. I think that His Excellency John Mahama has by himself shown the way. He has proven to be very humble. He's listening, and therefore anyone that is going to work with him should also show those kinds of traits. You know, those traits should be there. You must have those kinds of traits. But it's a human institution. People are born arrogant. People are born saucy. People are born to be sarcastic and everything. People are born not to be serious. You understand? So it is something that each and every one of them will have to work towards. They'll have to work towards perfection, sort of. Because I quite remember during one of the vettings, I think one appointee was reminded or was told that his colleagues found him to be kind of like temperamental. And he accepted, and he said he would work on it. So let's accept our flaws and work on it, instead of us trying so hard to probably live the lives that we've always dreamt of. We are born to serve this country, and therefore we must serve. That's what I have to say. As for the declaration of assets, I don't know why we waste our time letting them declare their assets.
Why?
Because in the first instance, you declare your assets, you send it to the Auditor General, sealed. Ghanaians do not know the contents of those things, that particular envelope. And then after 4 years, you're supposed to go and declare. We are still not aware of what you have put in there, whether you acquired any illicit properties or whatnot. We don't know. So I think that probably we should look at it. So long as you can come to a public vetting where people can ask you very personal questions, you should be able to also let us look into your vetting documents and your assets. You understand? Because let's put it this way. There are young people coming up there. Probably don't have, they're all in rented premises. Probably what they've written there, we don't know. So how are we going to go and ask them any questions about the acquisition of any properties? In this country, we've had history of people acquiring wealth or acquiring properties in the names of even toddlers and stuff like that. How do we get to know? So I think that this should be a public document. It shouldn't be a hidden document. If you have a house, give us the house number. Everybody should be able, those out there know who lives in this house, who owns this house. Let us begin to be transparent. I don't see why we should hide some of these things. If you can ask somebody at a vetting committee about his shares in a company, about the company he belongs to, where he lives, whether he owns it or he's living in a rented property, then what else is left for you to hide? So you should be able to expose all those things. Let's be transparent. At the end of the day also, after the 4 years, let us know, yes, during my 4 years, I have acquired this property in addition to what I came with. Then we can look at a lifestyle audit maybe and find out whether you were capable of getting that. That will be one instrument that we can use to curtail corruption, which we are all fighting. You understand? So for me, it's a call in the right direction, but there is still a lot more to be done. There has to be some form of transparency for the Auditor General to be able to publish, even though it's gazetted. I don't know how one is able to go and fish out a gazetted document, unless probably there is an investigation going on or something. But it shouldn't be so. We should be able to just look through it and know that this person has this property, so the person doesn't come and tell us that I had this.
It's very important and instrumental that you say this, because if we take a look at what usually is the communication based on the specific schedule, the Schedule 1 of the Public Office Holders, which is the Declaration of Assets and Disqualification Act, 1998, you will find that apart from the President going down to the ministers, well, ideally supposed to be having the Chief Justice, the other officers, ambassadors or high commissioners,
Governor of the bank,
even the Secretary to the Cabinet, all the ministerial head, the head of a ministerial government department, or equivalent office in the civil service, chief directors, etc. And then the governor, the electoral commission bosses, their deputies, the various independent bodies as well, their heads, the head of chancery, at the various
all the Article 71 people,
presidential staffers.
Yes, all of them. So Nana will have to go and
officer of the rank of Assistant Inspector of Taxes and above in the Ghana Revenue Service, officers of the police service, officers of the prison service, DCEs, that's MMDCEs.
Exactly.
Presiding members and then secretaries of the various MMDCs, the Chairman Public Services Commission and their deputies.
Yeah.
We don't seem to adhere to that.
No, we don't.
So how should this John Mahama Nana Genopoku Agyemang government be held to that strict proof?
I read that it's something that if you don't comply, you can be punished. There's a punitive measure for it. So I am saying, let us know, publish those who have filled in their forms and presented. But go further. We must have legislation of some sort that will enable us to look into those assets. We have to be able to look into those assets because, look, at this moment, there is something called oral going on. People are brandishing all sorts of things and saying, this house belongs to this person has this number of cars, this person has that. And these are public officers that have been accused of having amassed this kind of wealth. What did they put in their documents, in their asset declaration? What was there? They are leaving office. What have they put in there as well? Have they captured all these assets that we are being told allegedly belong to them? So I am of the view that I am sure that most of these people that have been listed, you know, do not even probably fill any form. But this time round, I expect the president to put his foot down, let each and every one of them fill that form. And if there is any way for us to authenticate whatever they have written there, not that I will put a house, meanwhile hoping that I will build a house. No, the house must be on the ground. We've had situations where we were told that some people filled forms for the future, hoping that they would build a house. So they say, I have a house. But let's see into those documents. What exactly do you have? If you don't have a house, that's fine. It is not beyond anybody to go and build a house. Maybe you got a loan or you did whatever. But if we start to do that, people will not dip their hands and their fingers into the public purse.